Get out the way.
This is why people have designated drivers. But being designated driver is like being the jester of the friend group. Yeah, you're showered with thanks and appreciation, but you're still a clown at the end of the day. And that's because being designated driver is more than just driving your friends back and forth while they slowly poison themselves to the point of having the motor functions of a newborn. Nah, you, as a designated driver, are an idiot because there's a whole lot more that comes with the job that you didn't always sign up for. Let me take you way back. Back then, me and my boys would hang out every Sunday, and we had a ritual. Hit the bar, get some snacks, and then head to one of our boys' apartments. We were regulars at the bar/restaurant we went to because we really liked how this place had some board games and card games that we could play. Though, I don't know what type of they were on, because while my boys were spending around $2 to $10 for drinks, I was trying to find a way to get a non-alcoholic beverage for a reasonable price.
Good day, gentlemen. Your cocktails will be at $5, some around $10.
Excuse me, I'm looking at your menu. Y'all got mocktails?
Of course. We have one with Sprite and lemonade mixed with a hint of ginger. It is a very delicious mocktail. You will like it.
Awesome, that sounds good. How much is that one?
For such an exceptional drink, that'll be $20.
What? Yeah, I don't know how the pricing worked, especially considering I was just trying to get juice and soda. Sometimes, ginger. And at times, it made me feel like I was being punished for being the designated driver. Anyways, being a regular there, you start to recognize the workers, you know, familiar faces. And I remember there was a particular light skin, the bartender, who was looking pretty good. And I remember this particular day when the boys and I were checking out at the bar area, I had some confidence about me where I was like, yo, with that receipt, how about I get your number? And then my boys, you know, already a little bit tipsy, were kind of fumbling over. I'm like, you know, let me maybe get the digits to get out of here. Go play some cards. And she utters those words, oh, I'm 17. The boys, that clearly woke them up from being half drunk, and they were clowning me all the way to the grocery store. But we finally got there, and we got everything more alcohol. Again, I'm not really a drinker myself. I've never had a taste of alcohol, but it doesn't matter. They were getting all types of drinks. I was getting my aloe water. We were getting chips and items for the challenge, but I'll touch on that later. Some candy, some pastries. We get it all for the munchies. And we checked out. And honestly, being designated driver, you also have to make sure you're a babysitter too, so these little adult toddlers don't waddle around. Remember, they're kind of drunk right now. Finally, we check out and we head to the final destination, my boy's apartment. And now the real night begins. We got some carby-ass foods like burgers in our system. And now it was time for the night to begin. It was time for war. Now, for anyone who doesn't know how war works, the game where two players play across from each other. Each player gets a randomized, shuffled deck of cards face down. You don't know what cards you have. And each player face down puts the cards in front of themselves one at a time and then turns it over. Whoever has the higher number card, 9 being greater than 2 or king being larger than a queen, wins. And whoever has the most cards at the end, or all the cards at the end, wins. We were doing 3-man war, which is infamous for being really, really long. But we're young, they're slightly drunk, and the night is ours, so we begin. But this is no normal war. We're 21, they got the alcohol in their systems, and we wanted to spice things up. So every exchange lost, they would have to take a sip of beer. And me, I would have to take a sip of lemon juice. And yeah, my teeth, my gums were sore in the morning. But it gets even worse because the person who loses the entire game has to take a sip of... Let me go back to the drawing board real quick. The alcohol percentage of a typical beer is 5%. Glass of whiskey, 40%. Shot of vodka, 40%. So what was the final tribulation, trial, punishment that these two bozos had to face if they lost? They had to drink 85% concentrated vodka. Whole shot, 1 sip. And in their details, they could literally feel it coursing through their entire body. And it's what you smelled like. From my perspective, it smelled like hand sanitizer from across the table. Yeah, I literally felt like I could watch some of their lifeline just slowly dripping away as they drunk that shit. But hey, they want to do it, they do it. But you might be thinking, Adam, that's kind of crazy. What type of challenge did you have to endure? If you've watched Drake and Josh, you'll know of Peruvian puff pepper and something far worse. I had to have some salsa of ghost peppers. It's pretty generic, but it was no means fun. 10 minutes, no bev. They could chase it down with carbs or some other alcohol, which I don't know how that works in hindsight, but me, ghost peppers, no bev. Suffice it to say, we were all up. But as the night went on and we were all having fun, there were things as an experienced designated driver that I began to see, starting with the I love you man stage.
Adam, I love you, man. I love you, man. All right, bro. I love you too, man. Dude, man. No.
Like, I really, really love you, bro. Got you, bro. When your friend gets to this point of the I love you stage, maybe consider taking the alcohol away from him, because maybe they're not at that tipping point quite yet. They're gonna get there pretty soon, if they're not already halfway there. So yeah, maybe make them ease up at that point. And yeah, being the designated driver, this is just the stuff that comes with it. Both my boys at this point were in the I love you stage. They were starfished out on the ground like it was Christmas in the snow on my homie's carpet floor. And I was just wiping the tables, washing the dishes, making sure everything was clean. And these two were in pure cloud nine. I love you, Adam. I love you, man. I mean, yeah, I was cleaning up his apartment and I appreciate his appreciation, but like, I love you too, homie. I got you. But this night we were doing as planned. It was around 12 at midnight at this point, and it was time for us to get those munchy desires quenched. So we did what we always did. We ordered delivery for Taco Bell, quesadillas, quesaritos, queso tacos, and those little sweet things they have that just like bust in your mouth. That's what we usually did. However, this particular night, I think this 85% out had one of my boys' insides absolutely ravaged. So while we were eating, he all of a sudden ran to the bathroom to is all we heard. I look over and I'm like, oh no. My other friend's still drunk and smiling and laughing. Oh, wow, dude, he's so wasted right now. And me, I've heard horror stories online about people vomiting and choking on their own vomit to the death. And me, being not only the responsible designated driver, but babysitter that I am, I had to make sure my boys were in the clear. So I rushed to the bathroom and peeked open. My boys lurched over the toilet. All right, not the first thing I want to see after just eating some Taco Bell and other oily ass food. Hey, he's getting it out of his system. For the next 20 to 30 minutes, I just kept on regularly checking on him every 5 minutes or so. But it eventually gets to the point where I come in and check and he's just out. Poop dripping from his mouth, his pants unbuckled down to his knees, bare ass out at me, and he is out at the toilet. At this point, it might be around 1:30, and I'm like, all right, it's time to wrap up and take these boys home to their mamas and daddies. So the point is, even though we were at one of my boys' apartments, he was staying at his parents' place because it was spring break, and you know, being a parent, they want to make sure their baby boy gets home safe. So my job as designated driver had to do just that. And so, taking my friend, I pulled him along onto the couch. I was able to drag him along. Keep in mind, this man is 230 pounds. Able to wiggle up his pants, tie his belt buckle together. I went to the front and got his shoes, put them on, laced him up, got a towel and wiped his face like a little baby with a bib and threw it away. And then I looked at that adult baby just slumped on the couch. Dude, this alcohol had absolutely demolished him and he had no signs of life. If I hadn't checked his pulse, I would have thought he was dead. But he was breathing, albeit just fucking drunk as hell. So I had to do what any friend would do in this situation. If you're trying to get your friend home, I went and I opened the door, and then I went outside and I opened my car door, unlocked it, and I lunged my friend's 230-pound body over my shoulder. And as I just wobbled down, trying to rush and down the apartment stairs, we were on the 3rd floor. And as I went to my car, I threw him in. His head kind of hit my window as I threw him in, but hey, he seemed fine. You know, I don't think I gave him a concussion. I think the alcohol would have done more brain damage than me, but he's in the car. Next, I check on my other friend. How's he doing? Man's out at the table. So now I gotta repeat the process. I go and get my friend's shoes, lace him up on him, make sure he's all good, wipe his mouth, and then my muscles recover. And then I get my position. You know, I never did wrestling or anything like that. And I lift his ass up over my shoulders, and I just kept like carrying him down. And as I was just trekking, my thighs felt like they were on fire. The fibers of it tearing and creaking under the weight. Cause these dudes, I mean, we all work out, but they kind of got some flesh on them. So I throw his ass in the front seat, and then I walk with my arms dead back in the apartment, make sure everything is clean, everything's locked, so no robbers break in. And I get in the car and I drive back home. And it's funny, on the way back home, driving off my boys, I hit a pothole. It was like boom. And my boy in the front seat, it woke him up. He's like, oh, yo, Adam, if you need me to drive, I got it. Shut your ass up and go back to sleep. I never felt so disrespected. Like, bro, my driving is amazing. It's a pothole. I got it. But finally, take the boys home, drag them out the car. I'm like, yo, you gotta wake up. I'm slapping around. You gotta wake up. And so, my boys get up. You know, I gotta take them one at a time. And they stumble in their house. And I don't even know if they made it to their bed. They could have fallen asleep back on the floor for all I know. But one thing I am certain of is that they're back home and safe with their family. That's the biggest thing. A wild night to be sure. And it's funny to say, I've never had any alcohol or cigarettes in my life. And a lot of people are surprised by that. You can have fun without having alcohol. And I could go out with the boys and wake up the next day clear-headed and do what I need to do. So if you feel like in any scenario where you feel you might be peer pressured or bandwagoned into doing anything, just do you. Deuces, boys.
didn't know our customer was a broke bitch. Maybe instead of getting a mocktail in your system, you should get your money up. I guess that's too hard for you, seeing as you have a crummy fit and that fucked up hairline. Oh, good day, sir.